Aquarius workshop, The Illusory Fear of Growing Old. I start with a quote from Pathwork Lecture 130 with the title Abundance versus Acceptance. And the quote is as follows. If man fears the aging process, he barricades eternal youth. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 130. There is a natural way of growing old through the development of emotional maturity and greater vibrancy. But this natural process is blocked by the illusory fear of growing old, by wanting to remain a child, and by the no current against oneself and life. In the unified state, we become simultaneously younger and older, in the sense of experiencing eternal youth and maturity at the same time. In the dualistic state, on the one hand, we refuse to grow up out of fear for life, truth and love, and on the other hand, we fall into a downward spiral of decay, desolation and pain. In the most favorable case, old age is a period in which one feels content, happy and serene, because one has fulfilled his task with heart and soul to allow the reality and truth of the true self to penetrate into every cell of the body. One feels the reality of eternal life, of ultimate safety and inner peace, which makes the dying process so organic that there is no fear, suffering, or pain. People regard both life and death as something beautiful. People see dying as a next step of unfoldment and as a liberation by letting go of the physical body so that one can consciously and relaxed experience the sweetness of the transition to another dimension. At its worst, old age is materialized self-alienation, resulting from identification with the negative aspects and the misconception that one therefore deserves annihilation, accompanied by a dying process of illness, pain and decay. This dying process is the materialization of immaturity with its illusions, its pride and self-will, its dependence, hopelessness and weakness, with its no current against life, feeling and movement, which anesthetizes the life center of love, truth and unity. For fear of lifting this anesthetic, one refuses to move at all levels without realizing that immobility is the beginning of the dying process. As a result of this illusory fear of life, of movement, of death, and of old age, dying is experienced as something traumatic. In this workshop we will explore, with a loving curiosity, 3 fundamental themes of the Pathwork Lectures regarding the illusory fear of growing old. The first theme: facing yourself honestly and humbly. Inwardly we fight not to become aware of what is there, and that compulsive denial takes a lot of energy. We allow ourselves to be guided by a severe superimposed conscience. Every imperfection is rejected on the assumption that this attitude is a virtue, but this is precisely a proud and arrogant attitude that causes self-deception, untruth and unhealthy softness in the forming of indulging negative aspects, unhealthy self-love and self-indulgence. It is this unhealthy struggle, this blockage of pent-up emotions that provokes a crisis, and only then may we be willing to face ourselves honestly and humbly. The next quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 114. It does not require effort or struggle to allow to be surfaced what is in you. In fact, man uses and wastes so much energy in preventing this, and then he wonders why he is so tired and, after having reached a certain age, why he no longer possesses sufficient energy to cope with the necessary struggle in life. If this energy current were reversed, life would become very different. With all his might, man struggles and fights against awareness of what is in him. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 1:14. The second theme: saying yes to life, feeling and moving at all levels. Inner numbness, insensibility and deadness is our greatest sorrow. For a child it is temporarily necessary to protect himself from pain and fear. As an adult, it is downright destructive to be in the hopelessness of deadness and refuse to move physically, mentally and emotionally. The body is kept in motion so that the energy flow can penetrate the entire physical system. One keeps feeling moving by learning to express them and feel them so that they can transform. One keeps one's mind moving by expanding it with new views. The next quote stems from Pathwork Lecture 167. When the life center is deadened, the desire to move dies as well. Therefore you can see for yourself that as people grow older, the desire to move diminishes. This is usually explained away by saying, well, this is a natural phenomenon of aging. This is, once again, reversing cause and effect. Aging itself is a process of dying and is a manifestation and effect rather than a cause. Dying is a result of somewhere and somehow not quite wanting to live, of rejecting aspects of living, such as feeling, breathing, moving. End of quote from Pathwork Lecture 167. The third and last theme: making fulfilling your task your top priority. Before an entity incarnates on Earth, it brings with it a task, and it can only become happy by saying yes to life and fulfilling its task with earnestness. His task is aimed at spiritual self-development, at self-purification, self-knowledge and growth of undeveloped cosmic matter. So, if someone is not happy, the cause lies in not optimally fulfilling their life task by avoiding problems, and these problems must become worse in the next incarnation. But at any moment we can choose to listen to the Divine Self, the inner being, who provides us with everything we could ever need to live this life and fulfill the task we were born to do. The last quote stems from Pathwork Question and Answers 245. When you are in a state of joyousness and peace, you are fully following your destiny, your path, as you should and are capable of doing. Old age and the state of mind that accompanies it is a likewise indication. All people who have inner peace, joy, and a deep sense of having fulfilled themselves in this life have truly done just that. End of quote from Pathwork Question and Answers 245. I wish you peace and all the best. Thank you.